Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be doing a prediction between the former Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, on the Democratic side versus the current Vice President, J.D. Vance. At the moment, J.D. Vance is looking a lot more likely to be the Republican Party's nominee than Buttigieg is looking to be the Democratic Party's nominee, but they've both been floated as potential options for each of their parties to nominate. And we'll be doing a hypothetical election prediction between the two. So I'll start out in Nevada. I'm going to start Nevada, and Nevada, I'm going to put that into the tilt blue. I think I had it at lean blue. I think it will be close. It is, of course, a swing state, so all these swing states are going to be close. But I think that it would most likely result in a Democratic victory. The national environment is certainly favoring Democrats, and Pete Buttigieg has got some, I think he would be a good candidate. He's got some Rust Belt charm, well, as does J.D. Vance, of course, being from neighboring states, Indiana and Ohio, and I think he would do well in the, Buttigieg would do well in the Rust Belt, but we'll get to that later. And I think it would be fairly easy for Democrats to win back the state of Nevada as far as states they lost in 2024. So that is going to be Nevada. And then Arizona, I think this one I think will be closer than Nevada. Arizona went to Trump by a lean margin in 2024. It was the furthest to the right state of the core 7 swing states. So I think it would take a lot to bring it back. But the national tide we've seen over and over again, Democrats are overperforming in special elections and off-year elections, and I think that the state of Arizona, they also have 2 Democratic senators and a Democratic governor, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that a Democrat could win it on the presidential level. In 2020, Biden, of course, won the state, and I think Democrats are well-positioned to win the state again. And then I'll go to the other half of the Sun Belt, start out with the state I feel more confident in calling, that being the state of North Carolina. So that is going to be 16 electoral college votes for J.D. Vance. The national environment, like I mentioned before, is favoring Democrats, but I don't think it's enough to win the state of North Carolina on the presidential level. We'll have to see what happens. We don't even know if these two people are going to be the candidates. We've still got quite a ways out until 2028, but for now, I'll put the state of North Carolina into J.D. Vance's column. Georgia, I feel less confident, but I'm going to put that into Buttigieg's column. Buttigieg has also had to portray himself as more of a moderate. He's appeared on Fox News a couple times and has aimed to appeal to a larger base of voters. So I think that would be an advantage for him. Biden was also able to win Georgia. It was a close state, though, of course, but I think with the elections we saw in Georgia that we've seen lately that have favored Democrats pretty consistently, that Democrats would be able to win the state. I think Georgia is probably maybe the second or third most likely state to flip back to the Democrats as far as states they lost in 2024. So that's going to be the state of Georgia, bringing Pete Buttigieg to 259 to J.D. Vance's 235. And then I'm going to start with the state of Michigan. I think this state would be the most likely to end up in Buttigieg's column. If I remember correctly, he lives there now and has been floated even as a potential Senate candidate for the state of Michigan. For now, we're going to go using him as the Democratic presidential contender. But that brings Buttigieg to 274. I think J.D. Vance's best hope is probably going to be in the state of Pennsylvania. This state has been, I think in the long run, will favor Republicans. Ultimately, it isn't enough for Vance to win the presidency. I'm going to put the state of Wisconsin into Buttigieg's column as well. So that gives us 284 for the former Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, versus J.D. Vance at 254. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.